Stephen, today will be the first time we see Gavin on the mound since obviously that incredible performance in New York. Have you had any time to reflect on what he was able to do and just how much he's evolved throughout the season?
Yeah, I think it was really cool we had an off day after that because we got 48 hours to kind of think about that game and celebrate it before we had to play again. So did a lot of times. I think I probably rewatched the game 2 or 3 times just to see it because when you watch from the side, you can't appreciate everything, the ins outs and things like that. So what a special day it was for Gavin, and just the way he has progressed this year from really the first 10 starts, we didn't know what we were going to get from him, and to see the work that he's put in with Carl, the pitching team, Hassani in the weight room, JD and the training staff, just to keep his body going and the adjustments that he's made. We're watching a guy turn into a very consistent starting pitcher, and it's just been a lot of fun to watch that growth.
I talked to him yesterday, and he said after the 7th inning, you told him to keep going. He looked up and saw he already had thrown 97 pitches, and he's like, there's no way that he wants me to actually keep going. Obviously, something special was brewing, but what goes through your mind as a manager trying to work through that situation?
I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I'd never managed a no-hitter before, so I didn't talk to Carl. I didn't talk to Albie. I didn't talk to anybody because I didn't know if I was allowed to. And so as I'm watching the game unfold, I'm like, okay, I guess I got to keep him going. No one's telling me not to, and so none of us talked about it, and I was nervous for him. I wanted him to get it, but also I don't know. I've never watched a starting pitcher when I've been the manager go that deep, and I don't know if I'm gonna get yelled at after the game or if people are gonna say nice job. And it was uncharted territory for me too. So, but we learned, and I'm so thankful that we gave him the opportunity. That no one came and tapped me on the shoulder to tell me to, slow him down or anything. And I thought he was gonna do it.
Is this between starts where it changed after that big, volume, or other than just the 2 days off, the extra?
Yeah, it changed because of the 2 days off, and obviously, I knew in the moment we had one. I forgot about the second one, so I was like, "Oh yeah, we got one off day," and then found out afterwards we had two, so that was good. But yeah, I mean, our training staff obviously has been on top of him. Carl been working with him. They put his bullpen when he waited to throw his bullpen until felt he was 100% ready. So we feel good about him taking the mound today. He feels good and ready to go.
What is the biggest difference in Brian Rocchio now than when he was here the first time?
His confidence. When Rocky's a confident player, he's the player you're seeing right now. I mean, the at-bat quality, he's taking borderline pitches because he knows he trusts himself more with 2 strikes. He's really just had great at-bats, and he's embraced this change to second base with a smile on his face and with a hunger to get better every day. And like we've talked about, there's been a number of plays he's never made before in his life that he's had to make at the major league level, and he's making them. And just couldn't be more thrilled with the way Brian has taken this opportunity and run with it.
CJ had talked about how he was more of a contact hitter in college and being a part of the power camps you guys do and kind of working his way up through the ranks. He said he's really learned from that, and he had his first home run over the weekend. So what have you seen just from his approach, watching him in the small sample size he's been here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about CJ. I'm still learning about him, but he can hit. He manages at bats well. He doesn't get big. As you get older and more experience is really where you start to learn to hit for power. And yeah, he's done a number of our power camps to learn how to hit for power, but it's really about recognizing the pitch that you should take that A swing on. And CJ seems to really stay under control, and then obviously he's got the homer and the double off the wall in Chicago. We really see him let it fly on those pitches, and I think it's more he has really good strike zone judgment, really good pitch recognition, and he's able to let the bat fly when he needs to.
He said he didn't notice a big change in pace of play since being up here. Is that unique to him, or do you feel like they do a really good job in the farm system preparing these guys for when they get up here? It's not a big, whoa, this feels a lot different.
I think that's a testament to everybody. I think it's, player development does a really nice job, but a lot of that is CJ. He's got a really slow heartbeat. Even talking to him in game, when you talk to a player who just comes up, sometimes they're talking a little bit fast and you can tell they're a little sped up, but he hasn't been sped up for 1 minute since he's been here. So I think a lot of the credit goes to CJ and some of the credit goes to our PD.
With Gavin, I know, you've said it before. We've heard it from Carl. With young pitchers in particular, you're always preaching, trust your stuff. Your stuff's good enough. It plays. When a pitcher has a game like Gavin's and it reinforces everything that you've been telling him, what do you think that does for him inside?
Yeah, I think anytime you're a player and you do something once, you feel like you can do it again every time. And Gavin's been doing that. He's been repeating his pitches, repeating his delivery, repeating, these long outings. Because once you can do something once, now you have it in you, and it's finding that mental fortitude to be able to go out there with the confidence that I'm going to do it every single time. And that's really what we're seeing from Gavin is he's getting into trouble like he did early in the year, but he's getting out of it. He might walk a guy, but he's getting a double play ball or he's punching the next guy out. So there's been a ton of growth from Gavin in that regard.
How did you know with Cade Smith that he would be the kind of guy, reliever that could go more than one inning? Because he did it a bunch last year. He's doing it again this year.
You have to go back to his debut where he went 2 innings, punched out 6. I think he showed us right away from the get-go that I can handle 2 innings. And obviously throughout the year last year as the pivot role, he'd come in the 5th or 6th and go back out and get us 2 or 3 outs. So we knew he didn't get rattled from sitting. It's hard. It's hard as a reliever to come in, get a big out, sit down for 10 minutes, and then go back out. Not everybody can do it, but Cade, nothing shakes Cade. The first time I met him, he told me he wanted to be an eye surgeon. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, this guy's willing to operate on eyes. He can handle any situation on the mound. You know what I mean? So it's getting to know the person, and then you watch the work ethic, and it kind of just goes hand in hand.
So you can't have a shaky hand. If
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
How did Means come out of the pen?
He was still throwing it when I came in here, so haven't heard.
With Quan in left field, in addition to throws like the one last night, he's had several assists this year where he played like a one-hopper off the wall, played the carom, got the guy out at second. Is there anything about how he's able to play that wall in left that is maybe most impressive to you, or just here's how advantageous that can be?
He works on it. If you watch him, you go watch batting practice, he's out there, he's shagging balls, he's watching, he's reading them off the wall. He puts his body into a position as he's catching it to make the throw. And I think there's something we used to talk about all the time as young baseball players coming up. The bases don't move. You know exactly where the base is. So if you can get your body into a position to where you just have to catch the ball and throw it, you're going to throw it on line. And Kwani does that better than most in the big leagues. But it's not by accident. He works every single day out in that outfield reading balls off the wall.
Gavin, let's go back to New York and what a day it was for you. How have you had any time to reflect on that outing?
Just a little bit. I've gone back and looked at it just a tad, but all the credit is the Hedgie. He called a phenomenal game the whole day. He was a wall back there the whole time, and he kept me in it.
How were you feeling throughout the game in terms of your arsenal, where you were in terms of your pitch count? What were you feeling?
Yeah, early I was out of the delivery just a tad. I was spinning open. Had a quick conversation with the pitching coaches between innings, and then I think it was either third or fourth inning on. I felt pretty good. I was landing everything. I was throwing it where I wanted to, and just went from there.
I think you told Andre that you really knew where you were in the 7th inning, what was happening, what was possible. What changes? Do you start thinking about it? How does your approach change, if at all?
Yeah, after the 7th inning, I come in and Voter told me to keep going. Looked up, it was 97 pitches. I just thought to myself, there's absolutely no way he wants me to keep going. But I felt good. I was in a good mental space, and I went out there for the 8th, got 3 quick outs, and went for the 9th. And when I got out there for the 9th, I had some chills, but I just told myself if I'm out here, I gotta do it now, and there's no backing down.
What are the biggest challenges for you when you have to go through a rotation 4 times?
Especially with the lineup they had, it was tough. Their top 4 guys are unbelievable, and then just being able to get them to pop out and ground out is, it's kind of spectacular on my part.
You talked about Hedgie. You've given a lot of credit to Bo in the past as well, but you also told Andre that going out there, you didn't know what was going to be called because you rely on those guys. How would you describe your relationship with the catchers and the trust you have in their game plan?
Yeah, the 4th time through is always the hardest, and like I said, I didn't talk to Hedgie. Hedgie didn't talk to me. Had no game plan, and I guess we started off curveballs heavy. But if that's what's going to get him out, that's what's going to get him out. And then it didn't matter whether he put down or what he called. I was going to throw it no matter what.
Through 126 pitches, that's the most by any starting pitcher in baseball this season. How did you feel afterwards?
The day of after the game, I felt pretty good, but the next day I was stiff. could barely move. Just walking in general was tough. And went to Barstool Sports, did a couple, like it's called the gauntlet, and I mean, kicking the soccer ball was tough, and then swinging the bat was pretty tough too. But other than that, I was just stiff all day.
Now that you get ready for your next start, does an outing like that give you confidence that, like, hey, this is something that's totally possible for me to go out and do?
100%. I just feel like it's possible in any game, really. Just being able to command the ball and throw it where you want to is the biggest part of it.
Cade, over the last 30 games, this team has been the best in the American League, but the bullpen has been the best in baseball. Specifically over the last 13 games, it feels like you guys have taken it up a notch. How have you seen this group rally through adversity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the most important things is really sticking to what we know our job is, right? Keeping our focus small. We know that our job is each day to prepare ourselves for when that phone rings, whoever gets called, and go out there and compete and you know, put ourselves and put the team in the best position to win. And so I don't think that has changed. So it's just been a matter of keeping it simple in that regard.
Carl said yesterday that he feels like this bullpen feels very similar to the one you had last season in terms of you guys are always talking to each other, picking each other up. How have you felt that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being down the bullpen is a special place. It's got its own culture. It's got its own quirks and inside jokes. And so having some new guys down there does change that, but you embrace that and it becomes its own thing. But again, like foundational pillars of that culture down there is to make sure that we're doing what we can, taking care of business, like being focused, having fun, but also making sure, like I said, that we're prepared when that phone rings, doing our best not to be caught off guard ever, and just like really working and enjoying that part of it.
You mentioned some new faces. Obviously, people have been put into different situations, higher leverage situations as well. How have you seen the adjustment amongst the group?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see guys step up and pitch in different situations. And it's been fun too when when your team is in those situations a lot where you're trying to protect the lead, a narrow lead late in the game, and have guys get to experience that and to contribute in that way. I know it's something super meaningful and something I really enjoy. And so to see everybody down in there pitch in situations like that is a really cool thing.
I know Stephen Vogt has said that there isn't a closer yet, but you have been called upon in the ninth inning multiple times now. Is there a mindset shift for you when you're called upon in those big moments?
It's a yes and no because, yes, like you can tell that there's something different in the atmosphere and the context, right? When you come in, like I said, narrow lead, late in the game, ninth inning, something like the fans are on their feet. There's a little bit of a different buzz. So you'd have to be, really ignorant not to be able to detect that. But at the same time, the no part of it is that my job doesn't change. My job is to make sure that I'm prepared everything in the day leading up to that point to come in and to be able to compete and put up a zero. Right? That's my job at the end of the day. And like I said, like if everyone down there is doing what we can control to make sure that we're competing and putting your team in the best chance to win, I think that it's going to play out really well.
You went in and pitched in 2 innings last night. Stephen Vogt said he trusts you in any situation. He said when he first met you, you had told him that you wanted to be an eye surgeon. So he said, I would trust him with anything. What does it mean to you to know that your manager has that trust in you to put you into situations like the ninth inning or to go multiple innings?
I mean, it's a huge honor, first and foremost, to know that, I'm going in a situation where everybody here in this dugout in that clubhouse is trusting me and relying on me for something. That's a huge honor. I respond with knowing that, like, hoping they have confidence that everything I'm doing each day leading up to that point is to honor that trust that they're putting in me. The work that I do, trying to be as consistent as possible. That's a huge honor. And it's exciting too, because it's something that, everybody has worked their entire life to be here. And it's the same for me. So to, see some of the, the fruit of that work, being able to be trusted with some of those situations is not something I take lightly at all.
There's no question there's been some ups and downs this season, but why do you feel like this team is playing some of its best baseball right now?
I mean, that's a really good question. I think that, it does come down to, like, keeping the focus small, I think, and then also being able to just have a short-term memory. You take the good, you take the bad, you learn from it, and then you forget about it and you move on, you show up ready to play the next day. I mean, that's one thing about baseball is that you have the opportunity to play a game every day. You have a good one, you have a bad one, regardless. You learn from it, you move on, you show up to the ballpark ready to go the next day. And so I think that the team's done a good job of doing that, to stay within ourselves and not try and do too much, but try and focus on what we can control and just show up each day with the single goal in mind of winning that game.